For our second selection tool, we're going to look at what do you do when you have an image with lots of the same color in it that you quickly want to get rid of. This would be good for images where you have like blue sky behind your subject, or if you're doing special effects work, you might have even taken a picture of your subject against a green screen wall. Instead of trying to lasso all the way around this guy, which would take hours and hours and hours, we're going to use a tool called the Magic Wand. It's the fourth tool on your toolbar. And if you hold down, you can see that you have three different versions of it. We're going to use the one called Magic Wand. And the way the Magic Wand works is whatever color pixel you click on, it's going to try and grab every other pixel around it that is the same or similar color. So for example, if I click on this blue sky, it's going to grab all of the pixels nearby that are a similar color of blue. And you can see it did a pretty good job of this corner, but it missed all of these where the blue gets lighter. To adjust that, we can go up to the top of our screen and we can change the tolerance. So for example, if I change this to 50 and I click again, it's going to grab even more pixels. Let's take it up even further. We'll put this at 75 and click again. And you can see now at 75, it's going to be able to grab all the blue around the outside. Okay, right now it's only grabbing the outside around the biker because of this little box right here. This is the contiguous option. And contiguous just means pixels that are touching. If I were to deselect this by pressing Control D and uncheck the contiguous box, it will now look for those blue pixels everywhere that it finds it. So when I click, you can see it's now found all of the blue sky in between his arms and knees and the frame of the bike, and it's given us a much more accurate selection for this image. Okay, so at this point, I get my little option bar down here. I got to decide what I want to do with it. I could add an adjustment layer like we did on project one, but I think what I want to do here is just go ahead and delete out these pixels. So if I press the delete key on my keyboard, it's going to say, what do you want to replace this with? Black, gray, or white? Now, watch what happens if I click black. It's going to just fill all of those pixels in with that particular color. And I don't think I want to keep this. I'm going to go back a step, Control Z. What I want to do is actually remove this sky so I can put something else behind it. So over on my layers palette, I'm going to double click this little lock, and that unlocks this layer. At this point, when I press delete, it will remove all of the pixels in the sky, and the only thing it's going to leave behind is a transparent background. Anytime you see this checkerboard pattern, that means there's no pixels back there at all. So now we can put whatever we want. I'm going to come down below my layer one, and let's create an adjustment layer here, this little half circle icon for solid color. Now you can pick any color you want from the spectrum. I'm going to go through here. Let's pick like a bright blue or bluish green, I guess that is. Hit OK. And you can see it's added a new layer that is filled in with that color. If I grab this layer and I move it below my biker, I've now created a new background for my image, and that looks pretty rad. Okay. Finally, we're going to go ahead and save this one out. I'm going to go File, Export as PNG. And just like we did on the first project, you're just going to add your name to the beginning of the file and hit save.